Hi, it's Steph, and we're at Lowe's. And not only do they still have fall mums, but they've received their holiday evergreens and shrubs. They have some arborvitae, and fall is a great time of year to plant evergreens, shrubs, and things like these arborvitae make great living fences for screening and privacy. This variety here is called the emerald green arborvitae, and you want to water it often the first year. It says that it's good for screening, privacy, and concealment. They're a dense pyramidal evergreen. You want to be careful if you have a lot of deer where you're at, because some arborvitae the deer really like. I know they tend to stay away from the green giants, but these emerald green they might like to chomp on. So something to be aware of. These here get to an average mature size. It says 15 feet high by 4 feet wide, and they need 4-foot spacing. They are hardy to zone 3, -30 to -40 degrees. Non-hardy in zones 1 and 2. And let's see how much these are. These are really large containers. They're probably 5 or 6 foot trees. And they're going to be in these red holiday cans. And let's see how much they are. They are $59.98. However, if you buy 20 or more, so if you were creating a living fence and needed about 20 or more trees, you would pay $47.98. So there you go. And these were the emerald green. They also have some green giants back there, so let's go see how much those are. So these are the green giant arborvitae. These are the ones I was telling you that my neighbor has a huge hedge of these, and the deer do not seem to touch them at all, and the hedge is growing in beautifully. They're getting a nice living fence. And these here are, let's see, they're also $59.98. If you get 20 or more, they would be $47.98. They get 30 feet high and 15 wide, hardy in zones up to zone 5, or zone 5 and up, non-hardy in zones 1 through 4. So -10 degrees to -20 Fahrenheit. Some lemon thread false cypress, and these here are $29.98. They look to be about a 3-gallon container. And this color is absolutely beautiful. This golden yellow against the green in the garden really makes it pop. These are really low maintenance. I have a couple in my garden, and I absolutely love them. They also have these really cute globe-looking evergreens. These are called little giant arborvitae. I really like the shape on these. And these here, let's see, they need full sun. They have a mounding growth habit. They are $29.98. This is a 3-gallon size. They are hardy to zone 3, non-hardy in zones 1 through 2, so -30 to -40 degrees Fahrenheit. The mature size is 4 feet high by 4 feet wide. And yeah, these are really nice looking. They also have some smaller green giant arborvitae. So these are probably in a 3-foot size, and they are $39.98. And if you get, let's see, 20 or more, they would be $31.98. They're fairly fast growers, so if you wanted to save yourself a little bit of money, instead of getting the larger size, you could opt for one that's a little bit smaller. Some dwarf Alberta spruce, and these can be used as a feature tree. They stay pretty compact. This one here is about, I would say, a 4-foot size. It's $84.98. It says keep moist first year, 2 times a week after that. The average mature size is 3 to 4 feet high and 3 to 4 feet wide. Give them about a 5-foot spacing. Hardy to zone 4 or -20 to -30 degrees. Non-hardy in zones 1 through 3. If you wanted to decorate some outdoor containers for the holidays, these evergreens are a great option. You could plant them now in the fall, and then they would last you throughout the winter. And this one here is some smaller versions of the emerald green arborvitae, and they are $27.98, and they come in a 3-gallon container, and they're about 2.5 feet tall. They also have some smaller versions of the Alberta spruce, the dwarf Alberta spruce. Again, these would look wonderful in a container, both now in fall and throughout the winter. And then you can transplant them to the landscape if you wanted to. These here are $39.98. And these are also about 2 feet tall. Now, does anything scream holidays more than a beautiful holly with red berries? I don't know, it's a tough call, but look how beautiful these are. Such shiny evergreen leaves, and these already have berries in them. Let's see what variety they are. So this is a blue princess holly, and it is $29.98. It is a part sun plant. Part sun wants 3 to 6 hours of morning sun. And these here are hardy, -10 to -20 degrees. They are hardy to zone 5, non-hardy in zones 1 through 4. Something to note about these hollies, if you want to get your holly bush, if you have the female, the princess, and you want to get berries, you need to have a male pollinator within 50 to 100 feet. So even if one of your neighbors has one, the birds will do the pollinating for you. But otherwise, you'd want to make sure to pick up a blue princess and a blue prince. Here they have some bigger versions of that little giant arborvitae, the ones that have that mounding shape. And the bigger ones are $39.98. And look at these cuties, even smaller emerald green arborvitaes. So these definitely are a great container or even a window box option at $11.98, and they certainly can be planted out in the landscape afterwards, so keep that in mind. Once they outgrow your container, if that's what you wanted to use them in, you could always use them in the landscape after. My Lowe's has a pretty full clearance rack. Now, annuals for us here in zone 6, you want to stay away from them. You'd essentially be wasting your money because they're not going to last much longer. But here's where the real savings comes in. If you can find some shrubs that are perennial, that is worthwhile. So here we have some double play candy corn spirea. Candy corn spirea, if you've been following my channel for a while, you know is my absolutely favorite spirea. This shrub has the most beautiful foliage. It starts off with this bright red, then it goes orange, and then yellow and green, and then it has these clusters of pink flowers. Absolutely gorgeous. It's also dwarf. So if you have a small garden or just want a small shrub to tuck somewhere, these here only get 1.5 to 2 feet tall and wide. They're hardy in USDA zones 4 through 7 or -30 to -34 Celsius. So -30 Fahrenheit, -34 Celsius. Compact dwarf shrub. It is sun or part shade, colorful foliage. It's absolutely gorgeous. So these were $27.98, and now they are 50% off at about $14. And they still have plenty of life left in them. So this is a great pickup. And again, fall is the perfect planting time. They also have a Steady Eddie double file viburnum on clearance. This is a newer Proven Winners viburnum that just hit the market a couple of years ago and just became more widely available. And so here, this Steady Eddie viburnum has white flowers. It almost looks like a lace cap hydrangea. It likes sun or part shade, hardy in zones 5 through 8 or -20 degrees Fahrenheit, -28 degrees Celsius. And it gets to be 4 to 5 feet tall and wide. So much smaller than the traditional larger double file viburnums. And this one is also on the clearance rack at 50% off. So let's see. I want to say it's also $28. Yeah. So this one is also $28. So it'd be about 14 bucks. And look at it. It's in really good shape considering it's on the clearance rack. Next to it, they have some more spireas. So this is the time to plant and pick up good deals on your clearance shrubs. They have some rhododendrons that will give you some beautiful spring color. This one is a Nova Zembla. I actually have one of these in my garden. It's like a fuchsia pink. Some websites will call it red. But look, $25.98. So you would get that for about $13. They have some Monrovia, Rose of Sharon, that also have some new growth coming in. So that's what you want to look for when you're looking at clearance plants. You want to make sure that they still have foliage, that they have signs of life, and that they have some new foliage. And then you know that there's more of a chance it's going to survive in your garden. These Rose of Sharon by Monrovia, they're called the Chateau d'Amboise. Rose of Sharon, it's a full partial sun. Really pretty pink bloom. And let's see here. Gets 4 feet wide, 6 feet tall, hardy in zones 5 through 9 or -20 to -10 degrees Fahrenheit. Blooms early summer through fall. And this one here at $44.98 would be about $22.50. Look how gorgeous this spirea looks. It has the most beautiful fall color with these red leaves. Look at that. This one is called, it's by First Editions. It's called Superstar Spirea. It's a smaller, more compact variety. New foliage is a stunning scarlet red. Pink blossoms in June and rebloom in August if pruned. And it has 3-season appeal with excellent bronze fall color. Let's see, the exposure here is full sun, dark green foliage, medium water needs, hardy to zone 3, up through zone 8. And the size is, it gets 2 to 3 feet high and 3 to 4 wide and deer resistant. This one's 50% off, so it would be about $14. It's a great looking shrub too. Another shrub that you can look for some spring fragrant blooms. The Bloomerang Dark Purple Reblooming Lilac by Proven Winners. This one is a sun shrub and it is hardy in zones 3 through 7. It gets 4 to 6 feet tall and wide. And it looks to be in good shape as well. It's also $28, so it would be about $14. So when you go into your Lowe's, definitely check out the clearance rack, because look, I have 2 huge rows of clearance racks here, and there's even evergreens. Check this out. So you see how we just saw some of these false thread, lemon thread, false cypress in the holiday pots? If you go to the back of the store, they have these on clearance, so they would be half off for $7. And look at this, lemon thread false cypress. They get 3 to 5 feet high, 2 to 4 feet wide. And they're hardy to zone 4, -20 to -30 degrees Fahrenheit, non-hardy in zones 1 through 3. And these are full sun. So if you're either doing a new landscaping, creating a new garden bed, a new garden area, this is a perfect time to go shopping for those deals, for sure. This is an interesting shrub here. This is called a Himalayan Sweet Box. Partial sun or shade, easy care. So it's $52.98, so it'd be 50% off. Still kind of pricey, but it is a Monrovia plant. And this one here says that it is a great ground cover. Let's see, the sun's shading me out here. A great ground cover for the shade garden. Full to partial shade, blooms in spring, and it's hardy in zone 6 through 9. Average size, it slowly reaches 2 feet tall to 8 feet wide. A couple more good finds here on the clearance rack at Lowe's. Check this out. It's the Proven Winners Quick Fire Panicle Hydrangea. These are an absolutely gorgeous hydrangea. I actually have one in my garden and it has the most amazing fall color. Look at that. It is a sun or part shade shrub. It is hardy in zones 3 through 8 or -40 degrees Fahrenheit, -40 degrees Celsius. It gets to be 6 to 8 feet tall and wide. And this one is $28.98, 50% off, so it would be about $14.50. And look, still has a bunch of new growth. So you would just have to clean this up, get it planted, and it would be beautiful for you next year. And look at this one here by Monrovia. This one is called a Magical Gold Forsythia. It is full sun. This is good for early spring colors. You could plant this next to your lilac, and that would be such a beautiful contrast. Here you have, this is a $20.98 container. This is a 1 gallon. And let's see the specs on this one. So the Magical Gold Forsythia likes full sun, and it blooms in early spring, hardy in zones 5 through 8, or -20 to -10 degrees Fahrenheit, and it gets to be about 4 feet wide and 5 feet tall. Vibrant color. And if you wanted some kind of evergreen ground cover, check this out, also on the clearance rack. The Bar Harbor Juniper. It is a blue colored evergreen ground cover. And this one here, it says it gets 1 foot high by 4 foot wide, hardy to zone 4, -20 to -30 degrees Fahrenheit, and it likes full sun. So they have a few of these in stock, and look how pretty they are. They create a nice spreading ground cover, and they are evergreens. You have this color all year round. Back in the regular priced plants, they have some more of these Rose of Sharon. It looks like they've got a new shipment of this variety here. It's the Proven Winners Lavender Chiffon Rose of Sharon. Let's see here. It says it attracts butterflies, it's deer resistant, great for borders and hedges, and it gets 8 to 12 feet tall, 4 to 6 feet wide, hardy in zones 5 through 8 or down to -20 degrees Fahrenheit. And let's see, how much are these? These appear to be a 3 gallon container, and they are $39.98. I can see back there. And this is what the blooms look like. Almost looks like the Miss Kim, I believe it's called. Very pretty. These are great from mid to late summer through fall color, because there are Rose of Sharons that bloom at all different times. Some more Spirea. This one is the Double Play Big Bang by Proven Winners. And it has light pink flowers, and it likes sun or part shade, hardy in zones 3 through 8 or to -40 degrees Fahrenheit and -40 Celsius, and it gets 2 to 3 feet tall and wide. And these are $27.98. They still have a couple of the Quick Fire Fab Shrubs, and this is the first time I'm actually seeing the blooms. I did record some of these earlier when we were doing the Lowe's tour earlier in the season, but look at this fall color. Gorgeous. It's like a fuchsia. The Quick Fire Fab is a sun or part shade shrub, hardy in zones 3 through 8. Down to -40 degrees Fahrenheit or -40 Celsius, and it gets 6 to 8 feet tall and 5 to 6 feet wide. And they have quite a few left here at my store, and they look to be in really good shape. The foliage is nice and healthy and green. And let's see how much these are. They are $27.98 for a 2 gallon. Still lots of pretty mums, and if you've held out this long to pick up your mums for Columbus Day weekend, then you're a pretty good chance they may last you through Thanksgiving if you get them nice and tightly budded like this. But look at how cute these are. They come in this little whiskey barrel decorative planter for $14.98, and then you can reuse this in future years. They still have a handful of perennials here at my Zone 6 store in Massachusetts, and they have these Montauk daisies, which are late summer and fall bloomers. This is about a 2 gallon container for $14.98. These are full sun perennials, and they are hardy to zone 5 or -10 to -20 degrees Fahrenheit, non-hardy in zones 1 through 4. And their sizing is they get to be 24 to 36 inches tall by 18 to 24 inches wide. And the bees appear to be liking them. There are also still some coneflowers available. They have the Cheyenne Spirit. And these are the ones that you get multiple colors on one plant. Get some yellow, some orange, some pink. They're $8.98. They are a perennial. They're full sun. And they are hardy to zone 4. They get 24 to 36 inches high and 18 to 24 inches wide. This one actually still has some buds. And then they have some white ones. These are the Powwow White Coneflower. They are also full sun. They're $8.98. Let's see here. Hardy to zone 3, -30 to -40 degrees Fahrenheit. They get 16 to 20 inches high and 12 to 16 inches wide. And check out this really pretty sedum. This is Autumn Fire Sedum. It looks like it's a lower growing sedum. Absolutely beautiful. So this is a full sun perennial Autumn Fire Sedum. It is $8.98. These are the 1 gallon containers, or just under a gallon here. And they are hardy to zone 3, so very hardy perennial. They get to be 18 inches high by 18 inches wide. And sedum are a great drought tolerant plant once they are established. Look at this other really pretty sedum that they have here at Lowe's. This is called Dazzle. Let's see here. It's called Sedum Dazzle. It's $10.98 and it's a Monrovia plant, but there isn't any information on these. There are no cards in them or labels other than the sticker with the name, but it looks like this would be a pretty low growing sedum based on what I'm seeing in the container. Look at the contrast of that dark sedum with these pink flowers and that yellow in the background. So beautiful. Really pretty for fall interest. And look at these gorgeous orange coneflowers. These are called Sombrero Adobe Orange Coneflower. They're $10.98. They're a full sun perennial. And they need 6 hours of direct sun, low watering once established. Their size is 24 to 26 inches high and 16 to 18 inches wide. And they bloom summer through fall, hardy, -20 to -30 degrees Fahrenheit. And look at the color on these. They also have some of the Sombrero Lemon Yellow Coneflower, also full sun perennial, $10.98. Easy care, extreme cold hardiness. They just do not tolerate wet feet. So if you have an area that has a lot of standing water, stay away from planting them there. They need 6+ hours of direct sun, low watering once established, and these get 18 to 24 inches high and 18 wide. Bloom summer through fall, hardy, -20 to -30 degrees Fahrenheit. And they have a beautiful yellow color. They have some Danica arborvitae in their red holiday containers, which is less than the price that we saw over at Home Depot. They were $26.98, and they were maybe just a tiny bit larger. And here is the specs on this one. It's a full sun evergreen. It's for screening. It has a nice globe shape. And this one here, let's see, it is hardy to zone 3, -30 to -40 degrees Fahrenheit. And it gets 18 to 24 inches high and 18 to 24 inches wide. Now, these are a great option for an evergreen that has a nice compact round shape, but you don't have to prune it like you would, say, a boxwood. The only thing to note about this, and it's something I found out a little bit late because I purchased 6 of these to create a border, and realized that they are not deer resistant. And so I had to return mine. But if you have an area where you don't get a lot of deer, these might be a really good option to provide a round or spherical accent in the garden without needing too much pruning. And look at the color on these. They are absolutely beautiful. These are some Fire Chief Arborvitae. That's the common name for them. They're the Rhinegold Arborvitae. They're an accent shrub, mounding growth habit. They're full sun. They are $14.98. And they are hardy to zone 3 or -30 to -40 degrees Fahrenheit. They get to be about 4 feet high and 4 feet wide. And in the cool weather or over winter, they get these really beautiful bronzy tips. It's an absolutely gorgeous shrub. I actually planted 2 of them in my garden last spring. Compact Japanese holly. These are part sun, foundation hedge, good alternative to boxwood. They look very similar to boxwood. And these here are $32.98, and they are hardy to zone 6, 0 to -10 degrees Fahrenheit, non-hardy in zones 1 through 5. Average mature size is 6 feet high, 6 feet wide. And these, they're about a 3-gallon size container for $32.98. And right next to it, they have some sky pencil holly, which is a really modern looking, cool vertical accent type shrub. Look at this. It grows in this same habit all the way up, gets a little bit wider as they age and a bit taller. And they are the sky pencil Japanese holly. They're full sun. They're a feature shrub, landscape focal point, upright growth habit. They're $13.98. And they are hardy in zones 6, non-hardy zones 1 through 5. They can take cold 0 to -10 degrees Fahrenheit. And their average mature size is 6 to 8 feet high and 1 to 1.5 feet wide. So if you have an area that's a little bit narrow or that you want some vertical interest, these would be a really great option. And look at these cool little boxwoods. They are a pyramidal shape. They're called Green Mountain Pyramidal Boxwood. They would look really nice again in a container for the holidays or throughout the winter. They're part sun at 3 to 6 hours of morning sun. They bloom in spring, but their blooms are really insignificant. It's just a tiny, tiny little kind of a white dot. They're $24.98, and these are 1-gallon size. And they get to be about 5 feet high and 3 feet wide. Hardy to zone 4 or -20 to -30 degrees Fahrenheit, non-hardy in zones 1 through 3. This tiny little bloom on these hollies are essentially what you see for the boxwood blooms, maybe even a little bit smaller. But they look like little beads like that, and then they put out this little bloom. But brings us to these. These are some holly, and look how beautiful this really dark emerald green shiny foliage. They are a little prickly, but they're gorgeous. Look at the gloss on those in the contrast to the foliage on the evergreens on the side of it. These are arborvitae. So even just having these 2 different shades of green and the different texture with the broadleaf here and the ferny evergreen foliage there, you're getting so much beautiful interest in your garden. And these beauties are called Sentinel Dragon Holly. They are a landscape feature, focal point, upright growth habit, full sun. They are hardy to zone 4, non-hardy in zones 1 through 3, and -20 to -30 degrees Fahrenheit. Their average mature size is 12 to 15 feet high and 5 to 8 feet wide. Really good size, and it'll have a nice narrow shape for an evergreen. Really beautiful. These here are, let's see, they are $42.98. and they are 2.33 gallon. They also have the Dragon Lady Holly. So they have the Sentinel Dragon Holly and the Dragon Lady. And this one has very similar specs at part sun, 3 to 6 hours of sun a day. They are hardy to zone 6 or 0 to negative 10 degrees Fahrenheit, non-hardy in zones 1 through 5, and the average mature size is 15 to 20 feet high and 4 to 6 feet wide. And they are also, let's see, $42.98. There's a really old tag here that must have came from the nursery, which I thought was really cool. Let's see. It says it's Oregon grown, and it's a densely branched pyramidal shrub that reaches tree-like proportions. Foliage is dark blue-green, heavy crop of showy red berries. Ripen in fall and hold through winter. 10 to 15 feet high, 8 to 10 feet tall. So look at this. It's a holly berry tree. I love the pyramidal shape. And here's what I picked up during this trip to Lowe's. I grabbed one of these Monrovia Magical Gold Forsythia for half off at $10.50. And I got 4, which was what they had left on the clearance rack, of this Bar Harbor Juniper for about $6.50 a piece. And I think these are going to make a really nice ground cover evergreen with this pretty blue-green color. So thanks for hanging out today. I hope that you enjoyed checking out the most recent inventory at Lowe's, and I'll catch you in the next one. Thanks for watching this video. If you liked it, please hit the thumbs up button, and please consider subscribing so you don't miss any of my future videos. And we'll see you soon.